We are alive. It's day 4 of the Desk Warriors boot camp, and I'm doing lunges, and I'm just doing them because this is what we would normally be doing in a boot camp, but that's not what we're doing in this course. So I'll stop that. Enough of that. Hey everyone. Oh, I just washed my hair. Hope it's looking okay. I am Zina Dalla. I am your host for today's day 4. And today we're going to put everything together that we have learned for the last 3 days. And then we're also going to talk about a couple posture products. I have one right here that we're going to talk about. And I have another over here off camera that I'll pull into view when it gets to that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the core exercises that we learned on Monday. And then we're going to move into the leg stretches that we learned on Tuesday. And then we're going to finish with the upper body stretches we learned on Wednesday. And as we do that, I'll be babbling and telling stories. And if you have questions during the stretches, this is a good time to pop them in so that I can answer the questions live. And then, like I said, we will, at the end, talk about some posture products. So I'm pulling up my phone so that I can open up my stopwatch so we can actually time ourselves while we do these. So I'm going to back up so you can see me. We're going to start with the core work. That's going to be 5 deep exhalation breaths where we engage the transverse abdominis and where we engage the pelvic floor. And then we're going to do 5 pelvic tilts. Hi, Diana. Hi, Sonal. And then we're going to do 5 rib cage breathing exercises where we're breathing through our rib cage. So if you watched on Monday, we did these already. I already explained them to you. So let's just do them together right now. Let's take the hand on the belly. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale. Pull that TVA in. Again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Really pull that TVA away from your hand. Engage your pelvic floor. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Now I'm going to turn to the side for these. I'm going to place my hands here. This kind of helps. Inhale and exhale. Now I'm pulling all that in and I'm moving into the posterior tilt. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If you're typing, your hands would be here. Inhale and exhale. Moving into our rib cage breathing. Here we go. All right. Hopefully you're all warmed up in your core. Now we're going to move into our hip flexor stretch. This is the one where we take one leg behind us and we're going to tuck that pelvis under. So I'll demonstrate this way. And I'll start a little stopwatch here so we can make sure we hold a minute. And let me just move this up. Keep holding. Don't move. So you guys should all be holding your hip flexor stretch right now. As a reminder, the hip flexor stretch is designed, well, it's designed for everybody who sits all day long. But if you have an anterior pelvic tilt in your pelvis, then that is going to be, this is going to be the stretch that's going to be more effective for you, or the stretch you should be focused on throughout your day. Even if you don't visually see yourself have an anterior pelvic tilt, like you look in the mirror and you're like, my booty's not hanging out in the wind. It's still a good stretch to do, and especially if you feel tightness. So I'll have some clients that they get into the stretch and they're like, holy, this is super tight. So then you know you need to do it. Okay, so the ones that sort of feel the tightest are the stretches that you most likely need the most. All right, we are ready. We can switch to the other side. So again, super important to tuck that pelvis. The side is going to be tighter for me. I'm going to show you guys a little extra bonus here in this hip flexor stretch. So if we take the hand of the leg that's stretching, so I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to reach it up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to lean away from that leg. You're going to get a little extra stretch there. And that's because that psoas muscle connects into your lumbar spine, actually. So when we reach up and over, it'll elongate even more. That psoas muscle is actually the only muscle in your body that connects the lower half to the upper half of the body. So it is a pretty powerful muscle. It also tends to cause, there are full books entirely written on the psoas. and what you can do with the psoas and how to get it stronger and how to stretch it out. So this is a pretty powerful muscle, and it's super important to stretch it, like I said, especially if you feel it's tight, or especially if you feel that you have that interior pelvic tilt posture. Again, the arm can go up, and then you can go over to the side for a little added bonus stretch. Okay, moving on. That was a minute on each side. We're going to go into the hamstring stretch. So this is where we reach to the forward of the chair, we find that flat back position, and then we hold and stretch. So while you guys are doing the stretch, you should all be doing this with me, not just watching in your chair. I'm going to tell you a little story about a client of mine. I'd say he's in his, or he was when he came to me, in his low to mid 60s. He was working in the backyard one day and literally just threw out his back to the point where he actually ruptured some vertebrae in his lumbar spine. It was a really big deal. And it was pretty traumatic. He was unable to do anything and pretty much had to go straight into surgery. Don't forget on this stretch that if you pull your toe up towards you, interrupt my story here, just as a reminder cue, that if you pull that toe up, you flex that foot, you'll get more of a stretch here. Go back to the top, let's switch sides. So anyway, this client comes and sees me because his doctor, who's a very smart doctor, told him after surgery that he needs to now work on strengthening all the muscles around his back and his pelvis. And he came in and he literally had no glutes. It was flat as a board, very little lumbar spine, no glutes. So we started working on him. And one of the things we did is we started activating his hip flexor muscles because he was in a posterior pelvic tilt. So we started working on strengthening his hip flexors. And that helped kind of move his pelvis into a little bit more of an arch. And then we started working in all different ranges of motion and directions. And we would do glute medius, glute masses, just a ton of glute work. And within about 2 months, he was pain-free and able to work in the backyard and lift and build and do all the things that he wanted to do with his life. We're moving on from this stretch. I'll finish the story in a second. Next, we're going to do the glute stretch. So one leg over the other, flex the foot, put up tall, bend over. Reminder that this one is a flat back lean. You can walk that foot forward a little bit more and lean forward a little bit deeper. So keep holding that while I finish my story. So yeah, he was pain-free. And my favorite part about the story is that his wife was super excited because suddenly he had glutes. And he actually had to buy different pairs of pants. The muscles developed. We were able to get the pelvis into the right place. We were able to strengthen the right muscles. And, you know, he's not even a client anymore, which I love because he's super healthy and is able to do all the things that he wants to do. So I guess that was a little story for you just on how powerful these these stretches can be, and then how powerful activation exercises can be, and how powerful posture can be. Let's switch to the other side. If you have chronic pain and the pain keeps coming back over and over again, a lot of times clients will say, well, it's because I injured my knee when I was a kid, or I injured this when I was a kid. Yeah, that may be the case, but at the end of the day, if your alignment is not correct, and if your joints aren't working properly, and if they're not in the right position, then you're going to continue to re-injure yourself. And that's really just the reality of this kind of work and how important corrective exercise, postural alignment work really is. So we have about 20 more seconds here on the second side of the glute stretch. Again, reminder, if it's too intense, you can bring that leg forward. You can push on this knee a little bit, just be gentle on the joint, but I like to push kind of on the thigh. And then that flat back lean, say that 10 times fast, that flat back lean is going to be more effective than kind of rounding forward and finding the stretch. All right, we are done with our leg stretches. We are now moving into the upper body stretches that we learned on yesterday. So we will start with the chest stretch on the chair. I need 2 hands for this, so I'm going to just pull backwards, or pull on my chair behind me, and reach out and feel that yummy, yummy stretch. Let me turn to the side. Again, you should be doing this with me. I hope you guys are all now doing chest stretches throughout your day. I find it's especially useful to do them for myself after I've spent long periods of time on my phone. So make sure you lean forward, feel that stretch. The higher up you go on the chair, the more of a stretch you're gonna feel. I hope maybe none of you guys have a rolling chair, because like I said, it's a little more challenging on a rolling chair. If you do, then take the modification stretch, this one here. The higher up the hands go, the more intense it is. If you're not even able, oh, here's a tip. If you're not able to hold your hands together on that stretch because you are so tight, and I had a client like that this morning, you can take a towel and you can use that as well. Okay, that was a minute there. Now we're gonna do our lat stretch. This is the one where we plant both butt cheeks and we take one arm up and over. And we think about reaching as we do this. We're not sinking down, we're really reaching up so we can get that elongation in the side of the body. And this hand is, bottom hand is just for support. Both butt cheeks are planted on the chair. So again, this lat stretch is really, really powerful. A lot of times when I give it to clients, they will feel like, whoa, my lats are super tight. And again, tight lats contribute to hunchback posture, or rounded over posture, kyphotic posture, whatever you want to call it. So this is really important to do. You will definitely have one side on this that's tighter than the other. I've been talking so much I haven't had a chance to breathe, so don't forget to breathe during these exercises. And let's go ahead and switch sides. And for those of you that might not have heard my own personal story of pain, I mentioned this, but when I was in my 20s, I decided to randomly run a marathon. I'd never run more than 3 miles in my life and wanted to do something motivating, and ran my first and only full marathon. I've done a half marathon and a bunch of 5Ks since then. But after I ran the marathon, I started having some really intense back pain, and had gone to a bunch of doctors and chiropractors and people who said, oh, you need to stretch and strengthen. And I didn't believe them. I thought they were crazy for thinking that stretching or strengthening could help my debilitating back issues. And then about a couple months later, I wanted to become a personal trainer. And I went through my certification course, and I started learning about alignment and posture. So I started doing stretches and exercises for my anterior pelvic tilt, which is what I had at the time. And lo and behold, suddenly I was no longer in pain. So if you are in pain right now, just a reminder, all end is not lost. There are ways for you to solve and get out of the pain. Okay, we're moving into our final upper body stretches, our rotation stretches. So this is where we grab one hand behind the chair, one hand here on the chair, and kind of pull ourselves and rotate. I'm gonna turn this way just so that I can see you as I'm talking in the camera. So as a reminder here, you are going to use the muscles in your hands to kind of pull and yank a little bit here so that you can increase that stretch and rotation. You want to try to keep both hip bones facing forward. I'm noticing, let's notice this for a second, but I just noticed something here because I can see myself in the camera. This knee has slid behind this knee. That means my hips have shifted. So I'm going to move this knee forward. That way I'm not twisting from my hips. I'm twisting from my ribs, my waist, and my head, which are all the parts of my spine that I actually want to stretch out. When I twist from my hips, yeah, I can turn more, but I'm not actually getting a true stretch in that thoracic and cervical spine area, which is where I want to increase my mobility. Let's try the other side. As a reminder, your lumbar spine, which is your lower spine, you don't have as much ability to rotate there. It's not as flexible when it comes to rotation. Your mid-back area, however, you have a little bit more flexibility. And your upper back, your cervical spine, not your upper back, really your cervical spine, has a large amount of ability to rotate. So you have to maintain that rotation. And so this stretch that you can do at your desk throughout your day is going to be critical to making sure that you can turn your head when you're 75, 80 years old and don't have a stiff. Activation exercises, and then we're going to talk about products and other things. So let's start with our shoulder openers. We're just going to do 10 of them. Palms face up. We're going to squeeze our shoulder blades behind us and not flare our rib cage. Here we go. We'll inhale here, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Four more. Now we're going to do alphabet soup. Take the arms to a T position. Bring them up to 2 L shapes. Squeeze down. 4 more of those. Out to the side, L shapes, and down. Here's your T. Here's your L. Here's your W. 2 more. We can inhale. Keep inhaling and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale and down. And now we're going to do 10 neck contractions, pulling the head back. Here we go. You can think about squeezing your shoulder blades too as you do these, but it's more about pulling the head back into an imaginary wall behind you. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. There you go. That took us 15 minutes. And I didn't think it was less because I was talking a lot in there. So probably about 13 minutes. So you can do that on your lunch break, beginning of your day, end of your day, and you will have gotten most of the muscles in your body that you need to stretch and elongate throughout your workday. All right, let's talk about posture products. I have this amazing product here called Upright Go that I fully endorse. And I will post the link in the Facebook page to the Upright Go just so you can see it. But it's a little device here that you place kind of here in your back. I probably did put that in the center, but it goes approximately there. And then you open up an app on your phone and you connect it and you calibrate it. So it'll tell you sit in good posture and it will sense what that feels like. And then you will schedule training sessions for yourself. So if you are a true desk warrior and you sit programming or writing or doing something for hours on end, then you can set up a time, 15-minute time, 20-minute time, or every time you're typing and you start to slouch, it will buzz and it's going to bring you back up again. So it's just a reminder. The work that I do with you is going to help strengthen your body so that you can hold yourself in these positions. But this kind of device is going to be a mental reminder for you. It's not going to strengthen you. It's not going to add any more activation into your muscles. It's truly just there to remind you that you are slouching, and it will remind. And I think how it works, if I recall, that you'll do like a 7-minute training session, and then it might increase you to an 8-minute training session. So it starts small because I mentioned yesterday, it can take a while for your muscles to build up so you have the strength to actually hold your body in proper posture. So I recommend this product. I'm guessing, I believe last time I looked it was in the $90 range. So I will pop it into the Facebook link so you guys can really see. Great company. They've always been very responsive to me, and I like what they do. I think it's a really good solution for the desk warrior. Next, let's talk about chairs. In my past, before I discovered the Ergo chair, I used to use a Guy ball chair. And again, I'll post these links for you on the Facebook page. And the Guy ball chair was a ball that sat on top of a rolling unit. I no longer have it, so I can't demonstrate that here anymore. But I want to show you why I enjoy the ball chair. A couple things. One, you can get movement on a ball chair, which I think I was saying yesterday, that moving is really, really important. It's the stationary sitting and that's a constant in one place. That's really what's killing your body. So the ball chair gives you movement. Also, when you sit on the ball chair, it kind of pushes your pelvis forward a little bit. I'm going to suck my abs in so that you are in that proper posture. When we sit in a chair, you know, we always tend to sit like this. So sitting on the ball kind of forces you. Also, it's impossible to sit incorrectly on a ball chair. You're going to go flying off. So this is a possibility. A lot of people enjoy it. I do endorse it. However, I have fallen in love with my Ergo chair. So the Ergo chair is got a lot of movement to it as well. I like that I can kind of move through my pelvic tilt here. I like that I can do circles. I'll often kind of take my legs nice and wide and rock side to side. Again, it puts that pelvis in that position. You can see how the accordion is tilting, and it puts that pelvis into a position that I enjoy. Now, the problem with this chair. So if it doesn't work for you in terms of its position, then it's hard to really do much with that. But I am 5'7", it works perfect for me. So 5'10", I believe. So if you're in that range, I think they also have a bigger one. So I'm not a product expert, I'm just giving you guys ideas. So I'll pop the link into the Facebook page as well so you can take a look. It might be a great option for you. Again, it's about creating movement. So all these exercises and stretches I'm giving you and these products I'm giving you are to help you find a way to sit tall and find movement in your life. And speaking of that, I know I'm almost out of time, but I want to take 2 minutes really quickly to talk about how you can continue to work with me if you're enjoying these videos. I do have a couple different options. Even if you live far, far, far away, you can still do posture training with me. So I've been teaching you exercises at your desk, but there's a ton more that you can do in your home that are on the floor, that are seated, that are standing, that are bent over, that really, really will help you stretch out the proper muscles and strengthen the proper muscles that you need in order to hold good posture. So one of my products that I have is called the Slouch Solution. It's a 4-week course. It has 6 workouts a week, and those workouts will be delivered to you via email. Super easy. You open up your email and it will tell you every exercise with a video and a description of me personally telling you how to do the exercise. You actually, if you complete the exercise, you'll check it off. If you complete the workout, you'll hit save and complete. I will get a notification and I will harass you if you have not done your workout. So it's really truly a way to get personal coaching from me. It's a 4-week program designed for solving hunchback posture primarily, but any kind of person that wants to get strong and that has a little bit of kyphosis, that course will help you. So it's currently on sale for you guys only in this course. It's less than the cost of a private session. It's $89. It's normally $159. So it is a great deal. So if you are loving these videos and you want to continue to work with me, I'd recommend you do that. So I will post that link as well into the Facebook page. I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow and tell you a little bit more about some of the amazing client testimonials that have come about working remotely with me, which I know may feel weird to some people, but it really is powerful. I've had clients for 1.5 years that I have never met in person, nor have done a Skype video in person, but yet are successful in seeing results and are loving their new posture. So that's it for today. I'm going to go live again tomorrow for answering any kinds of questions. So please email me back, post in the Facebook page. I'm pretty responsive these days. I'm getting back to everybody really quickly, or at least the best that I can. And I will do 20 minutes of just answering questions tomorrow. And I hope you have a great Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow.